Welcome to our AIBP Insights Manufacturing Day 1 on unlocking value through digital transformation in the ASEAN process industries. AIBP Insights is actually our series of discussions held online, which brings together a focus group of ASEAN stakeholders to discuss topics related to enterprise technology adoption in the region.
The three pillars of operations, people, products, and processes.
We often think digital is related to IT. It's actually not. I realize how different it can be when you form a cross-functional team with different backgrounds and experience. But when you combine digital to innovation to customer centricity and the obsession that creates value, that's when magic really happens. So innovation to me is not really being happy with what you have. It's not a program, it's not a process, it's definitely not a department.
People are the very important and probably the most difficult part of this whole chain as well.
But for me, that first step of identifying together the true north to not only see what the end game is, but to get people to be on the same page in terms of expectation.
Knowing who they are, maybe what makes them tick and what they care about, what they want to hear, and then doing that proof of value super early on and bringing that to the discussion or pitch with them, I think is really important. And that proof of value can be very simple. It can be like, if we steal a page from marketing playbook, an A/B, a split test. I really think in PDC has put a lot of time and resources and effort to continue to bring it to market in a feasible way, but augmented reality, right? It's literally the best technology humans have ever created to transfer knowledge and literally transcend, time and space to do so.
I agree with Achal that robotics is one of them.
I think it's essential to reiterate the importance of why we're having today's discussion. As we all know, manufacturing contributes to a large part of our economic growth in ASEAN.
You can see in my screen in the back, I have the measurement system on the board, and then there's the daily management system. It's like a whiteboard with actions, who will do what, right, based on the reports that are on the screen at the end of the shift.
How at industry level, we are moving from IA, intelligent automation, to AI, to artificial intelligence.
We talk about data transformation, data ingestion, data trust, right, to ensure that, all the digital transformation that you do, whether it's from, if you look back at the survey that AIBP is doing, right, there's a lot of focus on operations and supply chain.
There's a lot of good terms out there, AI, ML, you talk about all the automations, IoTs, all of these things. It will basically just congest the strategy. Basically, it just not give you the right focus.
We always say we prefer the optimism of action rather than the pessimism of intelligence. So in other words, we would prefer a bad choice rather than a no choice.
And we say data is a new asset. In fact, I also look at it as data as our new currency, where you need to invest your currency, you need to invest your data to grow more stuff, to how to monetize it and all that. So that will definitely be a roadmap for us as well. It's not to say that human is not important. Humans needs to be reskilled, upskilled, and actually move into areas that make more sense.
It starts with a question of what is the business outcome you want to drive, to achieve? What is it that, how do you align with the organizational objectives and goals? So the question is always starting with the business outcomes.
But the real challenge is really how do we harness this data? I call it the data janitor, right? Because we have to clean it up, and that's the highest level of effort.
They're not killed by the company. The company continues to fund them, but they also don't get more funding, right? So they just kind of sit in this purgatory. They're not in the good place of more sponsorship, but they're not canceled. They're not in the bad place. Where can we drive that impact? But what is going to do it at scale? Because if we only drive some impact in the corner of our company somewhere and we don't drive that transformation like Rhett was talking about, we're going to continue to struggle. And so it's all about focusing on that shareholder value, but then looking for the scale. What is, to TK's point, what are the easier things to start with, but that scale across the organization and so that they do grow into those large?
You need to know your transformational roadmap. You need to know where you are going, where your business is going, and how to prepare for it.
The people, the culture, because what I'm seeing is, we do have a lot of automation, but people are not using it, right? So we have to educate them. We have to transform them to be able to align with our objective, right? To be able to digitally transform not only our capability, but also our processes and our people.